Talk about literal language. When I say literal language, I mean it's when we use or understand language in its usual or most basic meaning. When we actually mean what we say, or when the words on the page actually say what they mean. Now, this means you don't have to read in between the lines. You don't have to look deeper. You don't have to start looking for figurative language or metaphor. The language, the words, the sentence means exactly what it means. If we look at something like this, I'm so hungry I could eat a sandwich. If I were to say that, you'd know exactly what I mean. There's no layers there, there's no metaphor. It's literally me just being hungry. I could eat a sandwich. There's no deeper meaning there. And it might not always feel like it, but there's quite a bit of literal language in poetry most of the time. Like if we look at this poem by Jeremy Michael Clark called One Fire Quenched with Another, it has three stanzas. And I want you to notice as we go through it, it's going to get more and more figurative. It'll become less literal as we go through, but it's going to start quite literal. So he says, pained as he was when he gazed upon his father's face, he held his gaze. Toward what he'd never known, he walked, somehow both arrogant and begging. The purple of his father's robes like a bruise. As a river over time can forge a way through stone, so absence bore through him, leaving a valley where his voice echoes off the canyon walls. Now, the poem continues from there, but in these first three stanzas, I want you to notice, like, especially in this first stanza, when he says, pained as he was when he gazed upon his father's face, he held his gaze. On its face, that could be read very literally, that this person looked at their father's face and they felt pain. They felt some emotional distress, but they held his gaze. He held his gaze. He didn't look away. Now there could be, maybe there's some context we could get there about this speaker and their life and their connection with their father, but it could also be just understood very literally. They looked at their father, they felt pain, but they didn't look away. As we continue, though, it starts to talk about the purple like a bruise and a river, boring through stone, and the voice echoing off canyon walls. It does get more and more figurative, and there's deeper meanings as we continue. But I think that first stanza can be read very literally.